On the sunny side. If you believe that indeed there is no democracy in Nigeria, or you agree with this said professor that Nigeria is so far away from achieving or realizing democratic ideals in Nigeria, tell me, what do you think is the most profound factor hindering democracy in Nigeria? Let's talk. The number to call is 070-0923-0923. 070-0923-0923. Send a WhatsApp message to the WhatsApp number. The WhatsApp number is 0809-030-6416. Once again, WhatsApp and Telegram number is 0809-030-6416. Remember to turn down the volume of your radio set as you call and also be audible so we can hear you. Remember, you can also join. That's Watch Us Live on Twitter and Instagram. The Twitter handle is at Nigeria Info PH. Facebook page, Nigeria Info 92.3 PH. And also remember to engage by dropping your comments in the comment section. Let's hear from this caller, shall we? Nigeria Info, good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side today.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Didi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Go ahead.
Hello.
I can hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm very much grateful for this message. It's a nice development. Are you with me?
What is your name and where are you calling from?
Okay, I'm Israel, calling from Israel, Matthew.
Israel, all right, go ahead.
Israel.
Go ahead and answer the question.
Didi, if you can look into it, but there is no democracy in Nigeria.
Okay, so you're one of those persons that believe there is no democracy in Nigeria.
One of the factors is that vote is not counted.
Votes
Even when the individual has tried to come out, the citizens try to come out and vote, it will not be counted.
Okay.
And whatever INEC and the government in power decided to do, they do it. Okay. And that's all about it. Democracy is people by the people and for the people. When governor enters into that city, he becomes God. And the way president there, he can do anything, and they are not caring for the people that are represented. So there is no democracy in Nigeria. If we are in the civil transition, completely civil rule. Even the military era is better than this government.
So you think?
I repeat, Tinubu says that it's my turn. If you own Nigeria, whether they like it, you have become his own turn. In Rivers State, after everybody has voted, what we hear,
all right then, thank you very much. Remember, the conversation is not about Tinubu. It's 30 years today since the election, which everyone declares to be the freest and fairest election in the history of Nigeria. It is 24 years since the military transition to civilian government. Take note. And we just concluded an election this year. And why we are having this conversation is because for the 5th year counting, we are celebrating Democracy Day on the 12th of June. It used to be on the 29th of May. But then again, you believe that for some reason there is no democracy in Nigeria. I believe you should also be able to tell us what you think are the hindrances to that democracy in Nigeria. Because they say that to solve a problem, you must first find the root cause of that particular problem. 070-0923-0923, 070-0923-0923. WhatsApp and Telegram number once again, 0809-030-6416. Nigeria Info, good afternoon to you. Welcome to the sunny side.
Hello.
Yes, welcome.
Denise, good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead.
Thank you, Denise. This is Muriel from Okrika.
Hi, Muriel. You're welcome.
Denise, to me, it's just one factor. Money politics.
Money politics.
Yes.
Expatiate, would you?
And democracy is supposed to be a government of the people and by the people, as in a government that the people collectively came together to choose their reps or their president or their governors. But what is playing out in Nigeria to me is money politics. The highest bidder takes it all. If you have money, enough money to buy as many states and as many people as you can, then it's no longer the people that elected you, but your money that puts you there. So at the end of the day, the people that went there, just like investment, they have to recover what they put in as capital to their investment. So it is no longer by the people, but your money that puts you there. To me, that's the one factor that has hindered democracy in our country.
Muriel,
yes,
let's look at government at different levels, shall we? We have the local government, we have the state government, and we have the federal government. I don't want to look at it. I don't want us to see it as all bad. You're calling from Okrika. I don't want to even go into details to ask whether you are from Okrika. But if in fact you are from Okrika, is there no possibility that there is some level of democracy in Okrika?
I say, Denise, I am from Okrika, a full-blown Okrika woman.
Okay.
But what plays out in all the local governments, not excluding my local government, is a reflection of what plays out at the top.
Okay.
In Abuja, in electing the president. At the end of the day, the local government chairman, trust me, before a local government chairman, all this local government comes up, it has to come directly. In fact, the governor has a bigger play when it comes to it. Trust me. So democracy, to me, is money politics. If the governor has enough, so we don't have a situation where the governor buys funds for local government chairman and even House of Assembly members. So it is all money politics for me.
Right.
The highest bidder dictates the tone.
070-0923-0923. Let's try not to deviate from the conversation and stay on the conversation. What do you think is the most profound factor hindering democracy in Nigeria? Nigerian folk, good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side.
Yeah, good afternoon, my sister.
Good afternoon, my brother.
I am Civilian General. I'm calling from LLM.
Civilian General, you're welcome. Go ahead.
If I say there is no democracy in Nigeria, I may be far from the truth. There is democracy.
Okay.
The democracy we are practicing is such that we have civilians in position of authority. But how they get there is something that does not promote democracy. We're in a position of authority today. We were never by the people. And whereas democracy is supposed to be government of the people, and by the people. When people will gather to vote, and at the end of their voting, few persons decide who should be at that position is where people are quarreling. Today we are celebrating Abiola, who was part of the democracy that took place some 30 years ago. And thank God I was alive then. I was part of those who voted then. We also how he went. But his mandate was stolen from him. And in the course of fighting for his mandate, he died. And today we are celebrating him. And celebrating today would have been a sober reflecting that what are those things that led to the death of this man? What shall we do to stop them and make sure that when people come out to vote, their vote will count, and not when people vote, at the end of the day, results will be announced, and people don't even know how they got there. They are the ones that have the results working in their way. So democracy needs to be revisited. As long as this country is concerned, we are practicing democracy, but it's in the wrong way. Democracy of few people selecting those who will be there, and not allowing the main people who voted for their votes to count. And that is the problem we find ourselves today. I don't want to talk about the election where people we spent our time, convinced our parties to join us, and we voted, and at the end, our votes did not count. That's my contribution this morning. Thank you.
All right, then. Thank you so much. I'd like to read through some of your messages on Facebook for those of you watching live. I have this one from Jigga Collectibles, and he reads, corruption is the number one thing hindering our democracy of today. When majority of leaders who are in position are corrupt, taking what belongs to the masses for their personal use. Miracle Imoe also on Facebook says, I think political intimidation, economic inequality, weak institutions, political instability, voter intimidation, political violence are the hindrances to democracy in Nigeria. Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome to the sunny side. Go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. Good afternoon.
Welcome.
Hello.
I'm with you. Good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Okay, my name is Tekena, calling from Iwofe.
Hi, Tekena. Welcome.
Okay, so one of the factors I believe that makes Nigeria not a democratic country, due to one word, favoritism.
Favoritism, okay?
Yes. And also lack of competent leaders, rather.
Okay, go ahead. I'm listening.
Hello?
I'm listening. Okay.
So most of these leaders, we don't doubt their competence, but they force their way in. Whereas, on the other hand, there might be a better person, I understand, that is suited for that position, but due to their connections and all, they end up taking the seat. That's all. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you too. Nigerian, good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon, Bibi.
Hi, good afternoon.
My name is Clement.
Clement, you're welcome. Go ahead.
For me, I have two factors that
Okay, let's hear you.
in Nigeria. Number one is poverty. Number two is the judiciary. And of course, what the judiciary will do is a factor that will result to, or have resulted to even the poverty that we have in Nigeria. You know, when they preach democracy to us, as far back as, let's say, 1993 or in the early 90s, we know the leaders then, the ones that escaped through the borders, the ones that the military were chasing then and all that, you know. And when it gets to 1999, the gospel of democracy was preached, and then we all bought into it. We asked the military to go back to the barracks, and then we come out to the police takes democracy to another level. And we saw how those who maybe or maybe not, genuinely or not genuinely won, the courts did what they do. And then they come back, make decisions that increase poverty, like we all see. I used to feel that schools will, as in government schools. I'm talking about government schools because then, of course, we are in secondary school or primary school then. And sitting under the tree and learning. We used to think democracy would come and give us a classroom with AC in it, maybe with computer, a government school. And that's what the gospel that was preached to us. But it will never happen even to today. 54 years since 1999, schools in Eche, schools in Ogoni, schools in Calabari, still learn under the trees. Even to today as we speak, in a democracy. So poverty, decision of judiciary, and I think gave us what we have today.
Okay.
If the right persons are elected or selected, I believe we would enjoy this democracy.
All right.
So
Clement,
that's my
can
opinion.
I engage you for a moment? Would you allow me do that?
Yes, please.
Okay. Everybody keeps making reference to the election and how people we want are not necessarily the ones in office. Rather, we have a government of selection. But let us also factor in the multitude that did not bother about turning up to vote in the first place. They rather sat in their homes, and all they ever did was do social media publicity for their preferred candidate. And you know this is not magic, it's not juju, it's not rocket science. You cannot sit in your home and expect a miracle. I don't know if you understand what I mean. So this is not me faulting your testament or faulting your statement as to the fact that we don't really get the kind of leaders that we want. But what about those people who want a particular kind of leader but do not take it upon themselves to see to the election of those leaders? How about that?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
I'm with you. I'm listening to you, Clement.
Hello?
Clement, I'm here. I'm with you.
Oh, no. Hello?
Oh, dear. Clement, I could hear you, but apparently you couldn't hear me. This is from at Anderson of Vukwi, and it says, politicians have hijacked our democracy, that as soon as politicians get into power, nothing else matters except their pockets, and for them, their futures. They will do everything to compromise the system and frustrate the citizenry. Interesting. Another message is from these ones are from Twitter, by the way. Hold on just a few seconds, please. Okay. So this one reads from Uchendu at Uchendu Kaluma on Twitter. There's no democracy in Nigeria. There is no freedom of speech. But why is the question? Nigerian folk, good afternoon to you. I'm so sorry I lost that call. I'd like to go back to Facebook to read some comments from those of you that are watching live. Okay, so this other one is from John A. Monday, and it reads, lack of transparency in vote counting due to godfathers in putting their preferred candidates while leaving office. Godswill Adonye says, good afternoon, Denise. There are many factors hindering the true practice of democracy. Among such factors are ethno-religious sentiments, corruption, lack of press freedom, absence of rule of law, and separation of power. Poverty, lack of independence of the judiciary. Until these hydra-headed monsters are pragmatically tackled in Nigeria, anything we think we are practicing as democracy is shenanigan. The best Imal Zakid also said, Didi, my ideas towards this is our leaders are major obstacles to our democracy. We'll get back to the messages. Nigerian for good afternoon. Welcome. Go ahead.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Prince from Cyprus.
Prince, you're welcome.
If I believe that it's part of our fighting with our democracy, even though I believe that this democracy is just like a camouflage, we're not in the real democracy. So far, we are not getting this right at the starting with government of the people. If the people will come out to vote and we miss it at that starting, at the beginning, and we miss our leaders in different local government and state levels, that is why the democracy is being rubbished. Any other year that follows, till 4 years, will remain in rubbish. Understand me, sorry to say so. So far, we will not get it for during election.
Okay, so hold on.
I'm with you.
I'm also with you. I like to ask this question. It may seem like I already have the answer, or maybe I do not have the answer. The fact that your choice candidate does not emerge, does it also mean that whoever emerges cannot perform or will not be able to change the narrative? If I want you, for instance, to emerge, and for some reason, some other person does emerge, are you saying that for the next 4 years, there is no hope?
there is no hope because the same majority. The democracy is full of majority.
But then again, I am also looking at the possibility that the majority may be wrong sometimes, if not all the time.
It cannot be. It's just 1% out of 100. Majority to be wrong. Okay, for example, now, just take this past election, for instance, now. Aba is not far from here. The jubilation is ongoing at Aba, right at the state. Is it the same as Enugu or other places? I wanted to say, what do you wear for your hand? You know, they used me to watch them. Understand? The jubilation that went on at the state after the election, is it the same jubilation at River State or at Enugu?
Okay.
Understand me? What is the secret behind that jubilation now? And again, let me tell you, sometimes, sorry to say this, that is my own personal opinion. Understand me? I prefer military more than this. You know, from here to Enugu State, I never go through a state to Enugu during military era. But under democracy, instead of going from here to Abadaret, I used to go through a chain. You suffer and you continue. Okay. You know, during military, protest is being allowed. But now, under normal civilian rule, once you want to protest, there will be a court order.
All right, thank you for your point. Cherry Chris says, poor legal system, 2, religion, 3, ethnicity. These 3 factors are strongly opposed to democracy in Nigeria. Faith Akbeya says ethnicity. Tina Ibineomie says hungry for wealth. I think she means hunger for wealth and power amongst old politicians is a major factor hindering democracy in this country. Stedmark Ofwebu says our judicial system is a big factor. No rule of law in Nigeria. Example, Senator Ikwere Madu, see how the whole thing went. Okay. I will not want to take any more calls till we are back from the commercial break. So let me just read through some messages I have before me. I believe there is no democracy in Nigeria. How can the government not be of the people anymore? Are they no longer for the people? Good afternoon, Constance. My name is Denise. I don't know why I have to say this countless times. I do not sound anything like Constance, okay? My name is Denise, not Constance. I do not totally agree with those who say there is no democracy in Nigeria. Democracy still exists elsewhere, else there wouldn't be any need for election. Some of the issues that's affecting democracy in our darling country is poverty and corruption. The country is grossly impoverished and dominated by few individuals who is at the helm of the affairs, smuggling and misappropriating funds meant for the poor masses. Peter Bright, Chimina from Omoma. Good afternoon, Denise. The main factor hindering us from the true democratic ideals is corruption. If we structure our democratic process very well, a lot of those who have held this country to the jugular will lose their illegal income. How can a president appoint chief judge, defense and service chiefs, INEC chairman, CBN governor? We can't get it right if we continue in this pattern. No miracle can save us if the people's votes can't freely count. Our democracy is very far from the real one. Bernard, send that in. Good afternoon, Denise. 3 decades after the only freest and fairest election that the winner died in a mysterious circumstance and never lived to see that office, I can tell you for free we do not have democracy and absolutely not operating one. Nigeria is not far from democracy. Like the president had said today, we have some greedy and unpatriotic elements that need to be nipped. Bright from Omaka. We're going to commercial break.
The show continues after this break on Nigeria.
Station for talk. If you're just joining us, I would say you may have missed a greater part of the conversation, but notwithstanding, I would just do a recap of all that has been said so far. As Nigerians celebrate Democracy Day today, a professor of developmental sociology, Sofri Job Petaside, says realizing Nigerians' democratic ideals remains a distant goal. Now, the core of democracy, like I said earlier, is the principle of popular sovereignty, which holds that government can be legitimated only by the will of those whom it governs. If it is not the will of the people, then it is not legitimate. And that is why we'll always say government of the people, for the people, and by the people. 30 years. Exactly 30 years today since we had the freest and fairest election as declared by everyone, and that was 12th of June 1993. 24 years since the military regime left and we now have the civilian government, which is supposed to be democratic. 5 years since we started celebrating democracy on the 12th of June, as opposed to the 29th day in the month of May, as it used to be. What is the way forward? What do you think is the most profound factor hindering democracy in Nigeria? Amongst other things, you say this one. If we can tackle this one, then we'll be one step closer to having a democratic society. Now, I see a lot of your WhatsApp messages. We're going to go on the news break for trending stories. And then when we come back, I will read through all those messages, maybe take a few more calls, and we will round off the conversation. My name is Denise Walu. It's still the sunny side on your number one station for talk, 92.3 Nigerian for FM. Just stay tuned to us.